I remember back in doing the beginning of the year and talking about our goals, and I was all exuberant about how great 2020 was going to be. And then the virus hit, and I was all doom and gloom. But when you stop and think about it, what all has happened during this period of time, we've been blessed in so many different ways.
I remember, how quick it changed from February into March, where we were normally meeting, and then we suddenly had to discuss doing online. And I remember thinking, I don't know how this is going to work out for us. This could be a bad deal. And just like you said, Gary, we increased in membership. Our giving went up.
And I agree with Gary. When this first started, I was all doom and gloom, and what are we going to do? I'll admit, I was wrong. God can do wonders. And through this church here, this Lakehoma Church, this loving congregation, these members, their faithfulness to continue to give during these times. A lot of our members have even lost jobs, and yet our contribution remains high.
Out of necessity, we had to adapt kind of with what was going on, and we not only, when we had to stop doing in-person worship when we went online, it just created a whole new audience for us that I hadn't thought about before, and we started reaching people that we never would have reached before, and I think we even had several baptisms from it.
I think we've had, 6 baptisms during COVID?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And 4 of those were from the community. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. People who had never come here before. And that just shows how powerful God is. He's using this tool to reach out to people.
I think we're seeing, like y'all said, a lot of baptisms, our Zoom meetings, and our staff, the way they have kept things going and kept people in contact with each other. The sermons James is preaching are touching people. And we've had baptisms from people in the community that have contacted us through that media.
Like our youth group has really taken off. You can't stop those guys. They are out there from working in people's yards this past summer to the trips that they've made, and they're unstoppable.
And we've gone from meeting just online to now we're meeting in person, 2 worships. We're still meeting live online. We're having the recorded sermons so that people can come in anytime they want and go back at their schedule and view the sermons and have worship with their families. And out of all this, we've had to change and adapt. I mean, look at this area that we're sitting in. Out of necessity, we had to expand our King's Kids because we wanted to have a place for our kids when our members were ready to come back and bring their kids. We wanted a place to do it. And so a lot of hard work went into this area, and we've done a lot of things. We remodeled some bathrooms and started on some classrooms, and we couldn't have done any of that without the contribution continuing to be where it was. So, Gary, your classes online have been really successful. People have been viewing that, and Mike and James tassels.
And the viewership on my class is more than what were coming into the auditorium class on Sunday mornings before.
One of the things that because of us not being able to be together, and us deciding that we should try to call and stay in touch with the members, and we broke the groups up into sections, and because of that, I feel closer to a lot of people that I didn't know well before, and I feel like I know them well now, even though I haven't even been around them. Maybe because they, we're separated. So, if Satan had intended to rip us apart, he's accomplishing just the opposite through it.
Well, our whole staff, we have some new staff members that came on, and they haven't really had the opportunity to meet and be with our members like they normally would.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't got to know them, and yet they're still doing a great job. We appreciate the staff so much for what they've done.
And I think it's important that we continue to not look just upon ourselves. We had a great time with the circles prayer time that we had for our neighborhoods.
Circles.
You know, that's something I think Lakehoma has really, since I've been here, pivoted. And they've gone from a church that looked in on themselves to a church that's looked out on the community.
Right.
And even in this type of time, we've been able to do that. I mean, we did the big give
Yep.
still. And so we affected a lot of kids who were in need there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important that we continue to look outside of ourselves.
And this membership never ceases to amaze me on their giving. You have EEM, you have Westview Boys Home, our food pantry, that they just fill up.
Mm-hmm.
They're always giving of their time, their resources. You can't say enough for the faithfulness, the giving, loving hearts.
One of the things I think I'm looking forward to is, with all the good things that have happened given these circumstances, when the circumstances are lifted or gone, how much more do we have to look forward to things being even better than what they were? I think, once this COVID's gone or the vaccines come, or whenever that time is, and everybody is comfortable getting back together, I think there's no limit to what we can accomplish with us all being together for worship, and also the worship being sent out across the border. I mean, we've got people across other states watching our worship service, listening to James' sermons,
And guys, we don't want to miss a chance to give God glory for
That's
all
right.
that He's done this time, because none of this could have been accomplished by man.
No.
And He has really blessed us.
He has always blessed Lakehoma,
Yeah.
and he continues to do so.
No.
Last year, we raised it to the point where we all kind of left the budget meeting thinking, I don't know, is this going to work or not?
That's right.
And then even amongst COVID, the entire congregation stepped up
Yeah.
and were faithful. I mean, they were just, God has put it on our hearts to be givers. And with the trend that we saw from this last year, even during COVID, we've taken another leap of faith. And we've raised our weekly contribution by about $1,400 for the 2021. And so I'm really excited to see God continue to move hearts and see people commit themselves to the work here at Lakehoma.
And Scott, I think we raised it to that because that 6-month period in there of COVID, that's what they were giving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just far and above what our actual budget was. So
Yeah.
we have faith that they'll, again, exceed our expectations, and
Yes.
they always do.
Lakehoma's always been a place, you just give them the challenge, you tell them about the need, and they'll take care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they always do.
Well, I think, as we wrap this up, we all feel the same way about the privilege of being able to shepherd this flock, because they make it easy on us.
They do.
They are a loving bunch of people, and I think in return we would like to say, we love you, Lakehoma.